Hey, do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in life after death? What if all your dreams and nightmares are pieces of a puzzle you once knew? A place and time waiting for us in the heavens. What if all this isn't real? Are you? Join me as I go looking for answers. Looking back on some of the adventures I have been on, some of the most quaint and mysterious places, each location unique with its own story embedded in history. Some places no one really talks about. Some places stay hidden away peacefully without worry in an ever evolving world. Whatever the case may be, who knows what may have been during those moments lost in time. J. Lorraine Ghost Town. How did I get here? How did I find this place? Only one can wonder what may be discovered off the beaten path if you ever so choose to take it. I discovered this place on the web and wanted to know more about its history. After a few attempts, I was able to get a hold of the kind souls who operate the ghost town. I was gladly invited, and my curiosity began with a simple phone call and a 3-hour drive. Along the way, there wasn't much to see, just a few winding roads and cattle who spent most of the day grazing upon God's gentle harvest. The Texas heat smiled upon me with a fiery vengeance. Thankfully, the AC in my car blew its cold breath on me along the way just to keep me cool. Upon arrival, I met a man named George, the owner, who one day decided to build his own ghost town. The reason why most people don't know the history of J. Lorraine is simply because he made it all up. His dream to create became a reality. I also read that somewhere when he purchased the land, he found a bunch of old wood laying around from older houses. Maybe a town was there back in the old days. Maybe some outlaws did burn it down, as they say. Who really knows? Or did George wake up one day and say, hey, I really want to build a ghost town and name it after my daughter, J. Lorraine? Either way it goes, it sure is a mystery full of history. As the sun began to set, I wondered what the night would hold, but not before enjoying one of the best burgers I ever had in Manor Tx. I sat alone watching a few folks speak among themselves. I had visuals of the past and wondered how life was like back in the days when all you had was your imagination to keep you going. I also heard the ghost stories and the possible spirits of those who never lived. Maybe the land it was built on holds a secret. Maybe the materials and furniture used to build the town still possess residual energy. Maybe the spirits of Manor decided to make J. Lorraine their home. During closing time, the sun had dipped below the ground. After a short talk with George, he proceeded to go on his way. With a smile, he looked back and said, have a good time, Mike. I hope you catch some good evidence. So there I stood quietly, with the sound of crickets singing away into the night. There I was, deep in the heart of Texas, away from the city lights, away from all the noise that seemed to interrupt my peace of mind. I stood there under the stars in the cover of night. I walked around speaking to anyone who would wish to speak to me. Each building created to its own taste, its own energy, and the smell of the antique furniture took me back in time. In the silence, I had memories of growing up for a brief moment. I suddenly realized that I was alone and I needed to proceed with caution. After a while of investigating, I could feel the energy build up, and I felt a little lost. I knew it was time to say goodbye to J. Lorraine. I packed my things up, and as I drove off looking back at her lights that faintly lit the buildings, I knew she was beautiful underneath the stars, and I hope she stays that way for a long time to come, so that others may enjoy and take a step back in time at the J. Lorraine Ghost Town. Thank you for watching.